Sometimes when we're waiting for uncertain news, we know the news is going to be bad. It's just a matter of how bad it'll be.
Bad news, everyone.
It's gonna make you literally run from bad news.
Well, BadNews Tech.
Welcome to episode 5 of the BadNews Tech podcast. My name is Pedro, and the Broncos won. That's why I have this Von Miller jersey on right now. My man with the horn, Isaac Rivera, and the greatest, I repeat, the greatest person to have to do our transitions, Mr. Awkward Christian Jimenez himself. I've also got, I don't know if it's going to be disembodied. You may be able to see his face. He's here. He's like Jordan in the flu game. Sick. But you know what? He decided to make it for this very podcast. Episode 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Louis Aleman.
The better the win.
Well, guys, as we know, the NFL season is over. It ended up in a very high note for me. Low note for some of the other people. Louis and his Minnesota Vikings. You'll hear a lot of that horn today, just because we're playing around with sound effects.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, and that leaves sports lovers like me to go into MLB season and NBA season. I've gone from the highest of the high to about down here because I got to deal with the New York Knicks and watching Kristaps Porzingis, the putback king, do work on the hardwood. Now, guys,
I have no clue what the hell you just said.
as you can tell, he doesn't watch sports, but that's okay. Everybody else knows who Kristaps Porzingis is. Now, guys, I'm moving, and I have a dilemma. Do I want to cut the cord and stop watching my live sports, my live television, my appointment viewing, as some would call it? Having this discussion with my lovely girlfriend Zora, who is not here, but she feels that saving money by cutting the cable off of our internet bill is the best way to go. I'm not sure why, though. I really do enjoy watching The Walking Dead live, Game of Thrones live, watching live sports, and I can't do that without having cable. I must admit, I absolutely love cable television. I would get satellite as well. I'm a fan of that type of viewing. Other people may disagree, mainly her. What say you guys? Is cutting the cord worth it?
I mean, I would say so. I lived like that for a little while, because everything that me and my girlfriend watched was pretty much streamable.
Yep.
So I mean, and all you need is an internet connection for that. We don't watch sports though, so it's different. Yep. But I know that there's like Verizon that they have those apps that do streaming for like NFL or whatever. Yep. So and then now you wrote an article earlier, I think either this week or last, about the NFL being streamable, right?
Yep.
The NFL games. So
that is correct.
But I mean, I did live like that to a certain extent, though, because Bright House has they basically tell you can't have internet without having the phone. I mean the cable. Mm. So we went with like the cheapest option. It's like $5. It's like a little box, like looks like an Apple TV. Mm. It doesn't give you like anything special except for like the basic channels. So you'll be able to watch, I think, at least one ESPN channel, and then The Walking Dead and all that.
It's what used to be plugged into the wall directly.
Yeah, because they switched to digital. Yeah.
It's just the digital converter is what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now
I think he's saying though, could you live even without that?
Without the box?
Without anything. So just
internet? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because honestly, we only took the box because we had to. I didn't even we hadn't used it for months because we were, when Walking Dead wasn't on, we had no reason to watch it.
But in this day and age where, you have to watch the show right then and there, or else it's going to get spoiled. Your friends don't care about you. They want to share their reactions on Facebook. And we all have that one person that's going to say, oh my God, so-and-so died. I can't believe it. I'm in tears. And you haven't seen it. Why? Because you have to stream it and not watch it live.
Yeah.
How do you, I personally can't do that. Because when Dude did what Dude did last year on The Walking Dead, I was livid that I had to read it from somebody else. It's ridiculous.
I mean, they do give you the option to stream it the day after, though, on their website. So, like, it's not like you have to wait a week because...
Yeah, but then you have to avoid social media, and, I want to live my life, man. I want to go on Facebook and talk garbage about the same show that everybody else is watching.
I mean, but staying one day away from streaming, from the Facebook or social media isn't that bad. I mean, I'm not a social media person, so like I don't stay all the way always in Instagram or Facebook or whatever, unless I'm working. And if I'm working, I can just turn off Facebook and be fine. So I mean, it's not that bad. It's not like I would assume back in the day where you would have to wait until like the next week when they do the rerun the hour before.
Yeah.
Way back in the day or whatever. So, but I think it's doable if you really are dedicated to it.
Well, let's take a look at it in terms of in monetary terms. We'll take me for example. I pay $170 for 100 megs down, 10 megs up, cable, and HBO Go.
Okay.
Could I live going only internet and streaming my television shows that I enjoy, which, I'm a Walking Dead fan.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy watching shows like Ballers on HBO, Game of Thrones, The Jinx. If you haven't seen it yet, please take the time to watch The Jinx. You will absolutely love that show. If you like Making of a Murderer, watch The Jinx. You'll be addicted. Shows like that.
So a lot of people say they cut the cord because it's cheaper. Also,
monetary purposes.
Because they could do Netflix, they could do Hulu, they could do whatever other service, and it technically would come out cheaper than their cable bill, and they could cut it whenever they want. I think a lot of people's reason for cord cutting. So it's going to really depend on what you watch and how fast you need to watch it also.
Yeah. But I think it's a bigger deal for those who like have like HBO.
Yeah.
With Game of Thrones. Granted, now they have the HBO Go and HBO Now where you can watch that pretty much live. They're probably one of the only people that do that where like it's not a sports show, but it is a show that tells a story, and it's streamed the second the show airs.
Yep.
Which is something I love about HBO Go. So, because before that, you'd have to wait at least a day for it to even hit a streaming site.
Yep.
Or,
or a torrenting site.
Or that even, So, there's... I think if a lot of people go that route where they cut the cord, a lot of companies should follow what HBO Go does, where if you are going to stream something that's current, like Hulu does, do it immediately, like when it airs, or at least an hour after or something, because Hulu is behind HBO Go, whereas if, like, The Flash airs, I gotta wait till the next day to see it if I miss it, if I have a Hulu subscription. So, if you're paying for something like you are HBO Go, maybe they should follow suit in that sort of aspect. So.
But what about those that don't really have the subscriptions to Hulu or Netflix? There are some channels, like the NFL is really, really strict on their rights. For instance, if you don't have DirecTV or any type of cable, or you don't pay the sports fee that your cable company provides to you, you won't get any streaming of any type of football games at all.
Oh, so you would still have to pay a subscription for that?
Yeah.
Ideally, there's a on your bill. There's a regional sports fee, and that goes straight to the local sports teams.
Well, doesn't that go for like CBS and Fox, and they'll show locally. Like you could literally plug in an antenna and get it for free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're showing it on your sports package, you have to pay for it, which I think is kind of
Ridiculous.
stupid.
Yeah, it's
to me.
it's a money grab. So,
But it also the NFL could threaten. Well, if you don't give us this money, then we're not going to be on your package at all. And then people are going to have to I guess, go to an antenna while they have cable, which is crazy.
which I mean,
Yeah.
so the thing with the NFL, right? Because the NFL is the biggest domino to fall as of late. They tested the waters with the Yahoo, Bills versus Jaguars game.
Yeah.
15 million people streamed that game in London. For it to be a really early game, number one, that game was on at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Number two, the teams were trash.
Garbage.
I mean, come on,
Pure garbage.
really, who wants to watch the Bills or the Jaguars play?
Bills and Jaguar fans.
I mean, are there any of them out there? Is what I'm
In
trying
Jacksonville and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Do they even like watching their own stuff?
Do they even like watching their own teams? Is an even better question. And it did well. It did reasonably well. Verizon is going after it. Is going after the digital streaming rights. Google is as well. Apple for some reason is as well. So it looks like they are going forward with their Apple TV streaming
It's
package.
only local though.
It's
Like you won't be able to watch. You won't be able to watch. Like if you, for instance, you're a Broncos fan, you won't be able to watch the Broncos play. You're going to have to be stuck with Tampa Bay or the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
Well, I think he's talking about the rights for Thursday night.
the Thursday night football game, which is anything.
They're,
yeah.
they're
will be
selling
streamed.
the stream rights for Thursday night football.
Yeah, that's what's going on with that.
Back to the cord cutting thing. Someone like me, I don't really watch any of the big shows live. Like Walking Dead. I'll skip like a season or 2 seasons, and then I'll binge watch it and catch up, and then that's it. Any other show, I usually will wait till it's done, and I'll just binge watch it. Me, the only thing I really watch on TV is live sports. So someone like me, I couldn't do a cord cutting because my main, like 80% of what I watch on TV is not available in cord cutting, which is a freaking ESPN package, which, I mean, when you pay for cable, no matter what price the cable, if it has that ESPN, and some of like the CBS and stuff like that, that big network, 20% of your bill goes to them.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is crazy. And the thing with Disney, what they do, because Disney owns ESPN and all them channels, is they said, well, you can't have that without having everything. So that's one big thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't be a cord cutter just because of what I watch. If you put it in a monetary thing, Netflix is now going up to what, $10 is now what it's going to be.
Yeah, Netflix is 10.
I think so, yeah.
$10. Hulu is $8 for the normal package.
Okay.
And then you could pay for like a non-ad version.
Almost non-ad version, which is the stupidest thing. Also,
How is it almost? I haven't tried it.
some shows arbitrarily have ads that you can't skip,
That's stupid. But you're paying for the ability to skip ads.
but some don't, or some you can.
That's so dumb.
So you have that. So you're about $20 now.
Okay.
You pay for ESPN Go or HBO Go. That's another $20.
Oops, that's 40.
$40. I mean, that right there is a basic cable package for me, like just a bare minimum one.
Amazon Prime is $99 a year, and that gives you original programming as well.
If you want to watch,
It gives
that.
you HBO stuff too.
After the fact, though.
Yeah.
Not
But no one's gonna buy. I feel no one buys Amazon Prime for.
I didn't buy it for the
anything
streaming.
other than 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Have you? I mean, I've checked out the shows on there. I thought they were pretty good. The show Bosch is a detective show. It's okay. Acting is, a little meh, but it's got a good premise to it. It's a good book series, so to speak.
They have High Castle that, like, if Nazis took over America,
Yeah, which apparently is pretty good.
show.
But
So.
but I think if Amazon made a $90 package that you couldn't get that and just get the free shipping, a lot of people would get the $90 one and not care about
TV. Oh yeah, I mean it's nowhere near anything that a Netflix is offering or an HBO Go.
I feel like that's a bonus. It's just like a bonus.
Yeah.
Amazon Music kind of sucks too.
Yeah.
But it's a bonus. So you got that. I don't think really there's any other big streaming.
Showtime has one as well.
Okay, $20.
I mean, but is there anything worth streaming besides Dexter from Showtime? I haven't seen anything big
Homeland.
from them.
Repeat that.
Homeland.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
a Showtime show?
Yeah,
I thought that was like regular programming.
No, bro. The shit they show
I've never watched it,
in
though, so-
Homeland is wild.
Yeah.
Also, Showtime has the best boxing series out right now as well. So for sports fans that enjoy that, I mean that's the way to go. The show Billions is very, very good. Also, Power.
That's
I mean,
big.
50 Cent show is. I mean,
That's huge. That's actually pretty big.
that's also Showtime. Ray Donovan, Penny Dreadful, which is dope as well. They've got some really, really, really good shows on Showtime. They're very underrated, but I think that
obviously because
they'll be good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
me
sorry.
and Chris
I'm
are
sorry.
quiet.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry. Power is not on Showtime. Power is Stars, which is also another one that
Which
you
is
can
one
purchase.
step down from Showtime.
Which is actually like 2.
Power's really the only thing on Stars.
But if we're talking cord cutting and saving money,
Well,
those are
that's
things
the
you
thing.
have to pay for anyways.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In my opinion, and this is the argument that the discussion that I have with Zora is cord cutting's not worth it, because if I gotta pay, if you're gonna charge me, $90 for 100 up, 10 down, or 100 down, 10 up, and then I gotta pay $20 for HBO Go, then another 10 for Netflix, and then I want to watch whatever's on regular cable and pay for Hulu and pay for that price. At that point in time, I'm around the 170 already, just off of that.
But
Don't they increase the price if you get internet?
Repeat that.
Don't they increase the price if you just get internet?
yeah, they bundle the price up, so you get it
Yeah.
cheaper.
That's why I think
It depends. It depends. Well,
real quick.
a couple things. It depends on the vendor, obviously.
Yep.
So most of us here have the unfortunate.
Conglomerate called Bright House
Yeah.
in Florida.
So that's what we get, and you do
Bright
get.
House is 100% better than Comcast, though, which is where when
It
I lived in
is.
Sarasota, that's the garbage I had to deal with. So for me, it's fortunate. For these guys, it's unfortunate.
I mean, compared to the other options that you can have, at least on the
All right,
internet
but
side, it's not as good.
But you're talking like you're comparing a dollar menu cheeseburger to a rotten cheeseburger. Is what you're doing right now. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure if me and Chris stood up with 2 antennas, we'd be as good as Comcast at the moment.
Yeah, like pretty
And our customer service 1,000 times better because we'll tell them, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Instead of, we're going to bill you. Regardless.
But they also data cap too, Comcast.
Well, they're
Yeah.
starting that in different markets, and they're actually expanding the test to different markets.
I don't like that they
And
do that.
it's gone horribly, bad PR,
Yeah.
and they're still going forward with it and expanding it. And what's funny is these ISPs, anywhere where there's competition, they're cheap, they're great, there'll be better customer service. But if you're in the boons and all you have is a Comcast, they'll give you like 512 KB up, charge you $100 a month,
like something ridiculous.
charge
yeah.
you $100 a month,
Yeah.
mischarge you and not care. But then you go somewhere like Austin, Texas, where you have Google Fiber. They have their own city fiber, and then they also have people like Verizon Fios too, and I think Comcast actually has a fiber over there too.
Mm-hmm.
The prices are like 50%
Yeah,
less
they gouge.
than other places.
They gouge. And what's funny is that I actually worked for a company where we had funeral homes in a lot of those boony type areas that it's just like farmland or it's just like barren land, and then just a small city with a few houses. And some of our companies, when I worked for them, would be paying like upwards to $500 for 1 gig synchronous. Or 1 meg synchronous. So it's like You can't do anything with 1 meg. Like,
So
not even with one person using the network.
The
Like,
ISP is hand delivering the megabytes to the computer, the data, bro. They're just that's how slow it is.
How do you stream TV with that much?
You can't.
You can't.
You're basically stuck looking at email, googling it now. Mobile sites, maybe you could go to like m.esp.
No, it was so bad that people couldn't stream Pandora. Like
at the lowest bit rate.
I'm like, come on, this is ridiculous. And it's because they're the only thing available in that area, so they can call the shots with whatever they want to, charge.
As savage as they want, and unfortunately, in this day and age, it's something that is I feel a necessity for a lot of things. We'll get into that later, but it's almost like I feel like internet right now is up there with maybe like electricity almost, where it's become a necessity.
Yeah.
In this day and age, no questions.
Oh, exactly. I work from home.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't do that if I don't have internet.
So you have these ISPs gouging people, giving bad customer service. And there's nothing anybody really could do until Google comes to the rescue and says, hey, we're going to open up there. And all of a sudden, everyone has these fast internet speeds, these cheap, awesome prices to try to get you away, and it's shenanigans.
What about contracting, though? Like, they contract,
Yours does. AT&T?
Yeah, they make you sign, like, I know Verizon does it, or AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
They make you sign, like, a 1 or 2 year contract, like as if you're buying a phone. And then you're stuck with whatever price they are giving you, which most of the times is a deal, but then they neglect to tell you that it's going to go up after that contract because that's the intro price or whatever. So, which I think is another thing that they don't do right.
It's just ISPs in general are pretty much up there with telecom companies, to where until something is threatening their business, they won't act.
Fiber. That's the only thing that's going to do that.
So fiber's the only thing really.
Google Fiber, yeah.
Yeah, basically Google Fiber or some other small bit, but even at that, your local government has to also help with that. Also.
Yeah, because they have to lay fiber.
A lot of times, Comcast, Bright House, they're lining the pockets of these politicians, and they're making the laws advantageous for them. Mm-hmm. And Lewis, you could probably talk to this a little bit of how much shenanigans happens at that level.
Well, yeah, they have big pockets, and the last thing they want is someone else to take up their monopolized network. I know where right now it's a fight between Verizon and Time Warner. Comcast has some presence out here, but due to the fact that there's also another one called Optimum, which is owned by the gentleman who owns the New York Knicks and the Madison Square Garden.
Let's go Knicks! Woo!
But it comes to show that without having so much spread within the network, people like to monopolize and keep a system between each other. And like we try to bring up Google Fiber here, but that was quickly shut down every single time.
And it has to do a lot with ISPs. Well, actually, local government has to basically force the ISPs to not be, for lack of a better word, assholes. They have to, because when these companies come in, they have to rent poles, they have to do a lot of things, and even though it's good practice that they do, of course they're not going to let someone just come in and they're going to have better pricing, they're going to have better customer service, they're going to drive them out. So until something changes in your local government, so like someone like Austin, Texas, how their local mayors and everything like that were for innovation with the internet, and that's why they have all this cool stuff over there that other people don't have. A lot of people actually don't realize that they'll never realize that. They'll just be stuck with whatever crappy providers in their thing. And another thing ISPs do is they deliberately stay away from each other's zones. So it's almost like they have like a gang turf thing where Comcast is in this area. Well, okay, Bright House, you take this area. Let's not cross because we might have to maybe give good customer service and competitive pricing if we do, because people will have a choice.
No, you're right. And to answer your question, Lewis, while I was doing research and Isaac was giving us the best lesson in,
ISP shenanigans.
How ISPs work. Here in Orlando, if I wanted to get 100 megs up, 10 megs down, it is $92 a month. That does not count for equipment rental, taxes, fees, and surcharges. So after it's all said and done, we're looking at what, maybe 110 a month?
More than that.
More? You think more?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're looking
$130-ish.
let's give it $130, I guess. Just to give it a nice round number, right? So I'm at $130 right now, just internet. I haven't even done anything else. Put another $10 on there for Netflix. I'm at $140. Put another $20 there for HBO. Where am I at right now? $160. Remember, guys, I pay $178 a month right now with live television I could watch.
You pay $178 for what though? Internet, cable.
Internet, cable, and HBO Go.
Okay. So.
Just HBO?
Yes.
So
okay.
Let's add. We first got to add to your bill to make this fair.
Okay.
Netflix? Yes.
Okay.
You pay for Netflix?
Yes.
$8, yeah.
No, $10 because
$10 family plan.
Yeah.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, $1.80.
All right.
Yeah.
Hulu.
Nah, Hulu is trash.
Okay.
In my opinion. Sorry.
So you're at 180 then.
All right, 180.
All right, so
okay.
we'll start with that standard.
Okay. So, but I'm at 160 right now with internet, HBO Go, and Netflix.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, I get Hulu, and without ads, of course, because I'm not gonna like, you know.
Mostly without ads.
Sorry, mostly without ads, and I'm at the 180 price point right now.
So okay, but let's get realistic now, and let's talk about most Americans, and most Americans' speed with their internet is not 100 megs down. Do you agree?
No.
Yeah.
It is not. I mean,
I'm pretty sure the average we're looking at probably like that 20-ish range.
Yes, I would.
Bare minimums, yeah.
Well, not even bare minimum, but I'm saying with like people like y'all mixed with people under that.
We're looking at averages. Yeah, averages will be around.
Like at 20 meg, 15 meg.
Yeah.
And then what you really get to your house, which is another thing that irks me.
Yeah.
Is you'll pay for 100 and you'll get 60. Why? Because you call the company, hey, I'm paying for $100 or 100 megs down. What's going on? Well, the 100 megs is with Optimum Network. Mm-hmm. Apparently, nobody within a 12 square
without
radius
load and, yeah.
could send a text over the network, and you might get it then.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's kind of BS that I think needs to change also. But
but that has to do with infrastructure, though. You know, yeah. I mean, we don't. None of us are engineers for those type of companies, so we don't really know whether that's true or not. But that's what they tell us, is that it's infrastructure. If they don't have the infrastructure to support the customers they have, then that's the reason why they kind of have that safety blanket comments that they make when you call them up and do things, say things like that.
But then so we have to sit there and take it because we have no other choice, and that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
Why don't they maybe change to testing the speed at whatever's your area, real speed, and sell you off a real speed? Don't you think that would make more sense?
Well, because isn't what they quote those speeds at depending on certain scenarios?
Yeah.
Because if there's 10,000 people within an area that are getting internet from the same place, it's not going to be as fast as.
Yeah, but the 100 megs here isn't consistent.
But what I'm saying is that's true.
Uh-huh.
Then they're lying to you still.
Yeah.
You're not getting that. You're paying for something. You're not getting it. They need to change the way and maybe go at give a
range maybe or something or like 60 to
like
100.
Okay, if you're sitting here and you plug your modem and you directly connect it, you're gonna get not 100, but you'll maybe get 50 to 75 at best.
Yeah.
I don't think that would ever happen because it sounds a lot better whenever you give these high numbers, but it's just like cars and how they test their fuel efficiency. Yeah. They're like, oh, you'll get 60 miles to the gallon, and then you're getting 25. And it's like, oh no, you have to be driving.
It depends on how hard you press the pedal.
The road has to be made out of ice. You have to be.
The road has to be made out of ice.
You
need to be hydroplaning
you're going
for a certain distance.
Downhill. with nobody in the car in space, and then you'll get that easily.
Oh my god, it is really ridiculous. And the fact that when you call them, they said, well, it's a burst speed. It could, whenever if you're on between the hours of like 8 a.m.
Like a
and
non-peak
10 a.m.
time, yeah.
when everyone's at work.
Or like 3 in the
Yeah,
morning.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
a
when
non-peak
you
time.
can get that, and it's ridiculous. But I mean, what can you do?
It's not so bad with people like you, but people that might not know as much and will get the cheapest thing, which a lot of people do, and usually the people that do don't know as much about
Yep.
what they're getting in the first place.
Yep.
So they'll get like a 1 meg plan, 5 meg plan.
Yep.
They're going to get less than a meg, and then they're wondering why their computer's slow.
Yeah.
It creates a whole bunch of issues for, first off, people that are not in the know, and then I feel like it shouldn't be like that in the first place.
Well, I mean,
Another kind of like shady thing that they do is they don't tell you what your upload speed is, and some people don't really care about that. But then there's some that do, like if you need to do streaming or uploading or anything
Videos.
like that, uploading videos to YouTube or
Just like-
anything like that.
just
They
like
don't really. They just advertise 100 megs. There has to be an upload speed. There's not a zero upload speed.
Yeah.
So and they don't try to educate their customers on that either.
Oh.
What the upload does and why is it so different. Another thing is that they don't make it synchronous.
Let's stop there. What does the upload do, and why is it so different?
The upload is basically the opposite of download. So when you watch a video, you're downloading that data into your computer
Yep.
when you're watching it.
Okay.
It's in the reverse basically when you're using upload speed. So you would only ever use upload speed if you were, like, let's say you had a big movie that you made or a home movie and you wanted to upload it to Google Photos to show the rest of your family.
Okay.
That will affect how quickly it uploads to sites like that.
Yeah.
It also helps with streaming. So it's basically downloading is when you're pulling data from a source that is not where you are.
Correct.
Okay?
Inbound traffic.
Yes. Upload is the opposite, where you're transmitting data to somewhere that's receiving it. So when you're live streaming on Twitch, or you're sending that data to Twitch servers, or YouTube Gaming, you're sending that to YouTube Gaming servers. Uploading a video to Google Drive, you're uploading that to Google.
A lot of people they might say, well, that doesn't matter, but let's say you're out and this is a very likely scenario. You're out to the park, you're taking pictures of the park, your kids taking videos. When you get home, you have an iPhone, you have an Android phone. Those things start getting uploaded immediately the second you touch your network. So that's one thing, that the better upload speed you have, the faster it is.
Yeah.
To be technical, you're always kind of uploading little packets saying, hey, you're going to upload a packet saying, hey, I want to see this. And then they'll send you the download. Hey, I need to see this, to make it very simple.
Yeah.
So you always have that. But what Christian's talking about is when you're sending that big data out, when you're uploading or saving something to Google Drive, Dropbox, a lot of people have, iCloud if they're using Apple products. So that is where it comes down to. And what ISPs do, again, is they'll give you a nice shiny, like he said, 100 meg download or 50 meg download, and then you look at the upload speed and it's like 2, 5,
Yeah.
something garbage.
It's so bad, yeah.
When they could definitely afford more, they have the infrastructure, but they choose not to. They cap you at that. And when you get to the lower plans, 5 meg download, your upload is like,
It's like 1 meg.
Yes.
It's
Less
than a
ridiculous,
meg.
yeah.
So
It's less
to
than
put that
meg-
in a
meg.
real world perspective, if you're trying to save a video of your child, it's 3-4 minutes of high def because your iPhones are now shooting high def. It's going to take like an hour to upload that.
Onto the
So
computer, just
even
save it
if
on
someone
the
thinks,
cloud.
well, I'll never use it because I'm not streaming Twitch, I'm not doing this, a lot of people don't notice that they're actually using their upload speed a lot.
Yeah.
And it actually
Because
matters.
that's
in their
all they're
life.
advertised
Yeah,
is
exactly.
download.
Okay.
And they don't understand that a lot of people, and people like older people like my father and stuff, they don't understand the concepts of how the download and the upload speed work, and because of that, companies have sold him packages that were completely unnecessary for him, like 150 megs when he barely knows how to, like, he doesn't even have Netflix. Like, you know, like, that's something that somebody like me would want.
Yeah.
You know, but not him, when all he needs to be able to do is just go on Facebook on his iPad. That's it. Like, literally, he doesn't even have a computer that connects to the internet. That's what he uses. So it's like, like when my dad told me that, I was like, no, bring it down to whatever the lowest is that they can give you.
Because someone like you could benefit from that.
Yeah, because you're wasting your money.
Yeah, you're paying like $60, $70,
Exactly,
$80 more for stuff that you don't need. So education is a big key when choosing your download speeds.
Gotcha.
How many people in the house you have, and
what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, a lot of people also don't know how much they're actually downloading. So
Yeah.
in case your father, he obviously probably was sold by the guy saying, oh, you need this, you know, this is what it is nowadays.
Yeah.
We have a special price only for, 12 hours.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
they do, whatever shenanigans they do to get you. He got that, but a lot of people also they don't think they use as much as they do. So underestimate how much they actually use.
Yeah.
So when you have, in my household, I always have either something streaming, something being watched on YouTube, just something always going on.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of people with a lot of teenagers don't notice that, if you have 4 computers on YouTube, unless you have a pretty good connection, a pretty good wireless router, you're going to be sitting there spinning, and then everyone's going to wonder why their computer's slow.
Yeah.
Probably blame the computer.
Yeah.
Probably say, Windows sucks.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
whatever, shenanigans,
Well, they think it's their router or whatever.
Exactly.
And
when they don't notice that
not.
they're actually, you're consuming this much data.
Yeah.
Which, back to Comcast, and putting caps on your internet usage is wrong.
Yeah.
Because now you have shows coming at 4K. Netflix is a big one that's pushing 4K content.
House of Cards.
And
Yeah.
one episode will eat your whole damn monthly cap almost. And
Yeah.
and then you're just basically gouging customers at this point. So you're saying, all right, you live in this area, you can't stream anything HD for that long because we feel like it,
And to speak about that, gamers get a hit from that too, because I have a friend that lives in Canada that he had an ISP. I don't really know what the name of it was because it was a Canada specific ISP, but if he had to reformat his computer, he would have to take like 3 months to download all the games he wanted because of his monthly cap. So you had to really pick and choose what were the games you wanted to play the most for that month because you weren't able to touch anything else after that.
Well, believe it or not, there's a company I know that has an office in Canada that have the only thing available to them is DSL, 5 meg upload or 5 meg download, like half meg upload, and they're running a company of that because they have no other choice.
Yeah,
So,
that sucks. The whole monopoly thing just sucks, man.
Repeat that?
It all goes down to infrastructure. It's expensive.
Yeah, especially in places that aren't really like cities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It can. I could understand why. I mean, they have to be the bad person because, why are you going to build a whole entire data center to provide fast internet for a place that's only populated, with a small population? It makes sense. Whereas if you're in the outlying area of a city, you're probably reaping the benefits of whatever latest development in internet is happening in that area.
But it's also more expensive to lay down anything in the city. Not only permits, but you have to go through all these building codes. You have to do so much to do in that. Really,
But the companies pay for that, though.
They pay for everything.
Yeah,
And
let me ask you this though: is it even worth it? For instance, if Google Fiber comes right now into Orlando, we know that you guys will switch. But
In a heartbeat.
Absolutely. How many people would you know personally that will switch, knowing that they're already comfortable with their cable provider?
it's going to depend on.
They're going to spend millions.
It's gonna depend on education, I think.
Yeah. If they don't know what they're getting,
necessity,
then it's not going to matter.
And another thing that will, when Google Fiber comes in, other ISPs start pissing their pants pretty much.
Yeah,
so
I mean, they get scared.
So they start calling customers, giving them deals. When a customer calls, all of a sudden they have this magical deal, triple their speed, cut their bill and have all these things to keep
Yeah.
people.
Well,
Especially with how Google Fiber is pricing their 1 gig internet connection synchronous, it's $70, and that's like I think the best plan.
Yeah, well, and you also have, if you pay.
Can we hold it right there?
Yes, sir.
You said 1 gig synchronous. What does that mean for people who don't know?
Synchronous means it goes both ways. So if you have 1 gigabit connection download, you have it the same exact thing upload. That's
Right.
what synchronous means.
So incoming and outgoing traffic is the same speed.
Both your upload and your download, yes.
Okay, cool.
And also,
I'm trying to make it simple.
So what a gigabit is also 1,000 megabytes, which most people are sold on 50, 100 at the fastest. This is 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
So to get in perspective of how fast that is.
The gigabit is such a big deal for consumers because it is something that was only available to businesses for a very long time. And it was so expensive that a lot of times, and I've worked for a company before, that there was not fiber in the area. We had to pay to lay the cable down for the rest of the area in order for us to get fiber. And then that area doesn't have to worry about those costs to go ahead and actually go and get that fiber because the fiber is already laid in the ground.
And to put that bill in perspective, I've gotten quotes, and it's usually $30,000 to $50,000 to get that installation done.
Yeah.
To lay fiber for not even that long.
Yeah.
And you foot the bill.
But they share it with each other?
Say it again.
Do they share it with each other, or they all have?
It's basically getting the fiber from wherever the main mux is to that area. So they'll lay it down like half a mile or something like that. Once it's laid out wherever it is, everyone in that area could then get fiber.
Could buy a fiber package.
So you're basically paying for the neighborhood to have it.
Like instead of you calling and saying, "Hey Verizon, I want to go ahead and get your fiber internet," and they go, "Well, we don't have fiber in your area," and then some big company comes and moves in down the street and they pay for fiber, all of a sudden Verizon's offering packages to their customers in that area. Okay. So it's because they paid to lay that down. Instead of having to rely on the state to go ahead and do all of that and pay for all of that, the company sometimes will pay for it.
Or the ISP themselves.
Yeah, and they'll lay it down, and then whoever wants to reap the benefits from it, from whichever company wants to utilize the fiber, they can.
So then they profit out of your purchase even more, because not only are you buying it, now everybody around them is buying it at no cost to them.
So this is similar to like the FCC auction. Like whenever you buy spectrum, basically the government has laid the foundation, and everybody just basically leases off the towers. In retrospect, right?
Somewhat. It's very similar.
It'd be like if a company needs signal in a certain area, and they have to build the cell tower to then get service in that area. But then that, of course, now that they have a cell tower, that they can sell to everybody else that's in that area.
Okay.
It'd be like that.
Got it.
So, yeah, that's pretty. Oh, also Google Fiber, something cool that they do is if you pay the $300 installation fee, you could get 5 megs download and upload for free.
For free.
For the life.
For life, yeah.
So you can just
someone like Christian's dad could say, okay, I'll pay my $300. I'm good for the next whatever years until they.
And I think what that does is it probably helps the community establish a fiber connection by laying the fiber. That $300, the reason why it's so high is probably because that if they get 100, 200, 300 people to get the free internet,
it all goes towards
goes towards laying the fiber.
Correct. Yep. So my brother actually texted me.
That's wild, man. That's.
Right.
My answer to that question was going to be, if you're comfortable with your cable company and you know that a competition is coming, just wait for them to give you a sweetheart deal. But man, if Google's going to be doing that for neighborhoods, forget that, bro. Pay the $300 one-time fee, and you're basically good for ever.
If you could manage with 5 meg. So if you're a basic user, yes. But obviously, if you're like Christian trying to stream HD video, it might not work. But for most people, I would say probably like 80% of people would probably be good off that. So my brother texted me last Saturday, Google Fiber is being installed in my block. Any good?
Where does he live?
He lives in Delaware.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he lives in Delaware.
Bro, I can't believe you just said any good. My head would explode.
Well, of course,
Any good?
I hit a what with like 400 T's, Lucky Man, I Wish, The Speed is Crazy, 1,000 meg upload / download.
It's like when you hear your friend lose his virginity. He's got to get mad dabs.
Exactly. You go buy drinks.
You're so happy.
You go buy
for
shots.
them,
You go buy balloons.
Yeah.
Put it in his car. You go buy a ribbon.
Why?
Put it on his forehead.
Because that day he became a man.
So,
man.
shout out to Delaware for.
I didn't know they were on the list.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm so mad that Orlando missed it. I think it's Jacksonville
And Tampa.
and Tampa.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is that Google Fiber has these companies so scared, shaking in their boots, that the fact that Tampa and Jacksonville got that, Orlando got a boost in their download speeds this year as a
By
result.
Bright House, yeah.
By
Yeah.
Bright House.
I didn't think
So
that was the cause of it.
That's the cause of that, because there are talks that next year Orlando will have it.
If Orlando has fiber, I swear I will just run in the streets naked.
Christian will literally just ascend to heaven, bro. He'll just disappear and descend, and we'll just find him, bro. Because
I'll be like that movie that the guy
So,
that he uploaded his consciousness to the internet, and he's just mass smart and stuff like.
He will look exactly like the PC Master Race logo, bro. Matt Heavenly, lights behind him, hair flowing,
beard flowing too.
just beard flowing everywhere on a unicorn with wings, looking like Pegasus.
Yeah.
Because he's got Google Fiber.
Shout out to Middletown.
Verizon matches the upload and download
Of what?
of the speeds.
Upload
Files.
and down. He said
Verizon
Files does it. Yeah.
Files does it for Google. It matches Google, yes?
No. He's saying that their download and their upload is equal to
but I had
like the
800
synchronous
by
stuff that I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So their speeds are synchronous, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were just matching it. I was like, my God.
Usually, any fiber will be the same upload and download.
Yeah.
What's your experience with FiOS?
It's better than Comcast. It's better than Optimum. It's better than Time Warner.
What's your speed again? To
800 by 800.
okay.
800 by 800.
So it's pretty much us at all our houses times 2.5.
Yeah. Basically.
Speed.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just on him, which is awesome.
So the man's
My
got a
bro-
block's worth of speed.
Well, my brother does have FiOS right now.
Okay.
So that's why people who are lucky to have FiOS are probably not going to care as much because.
Yeah. I could
Verizon has been doing it for so long.
Yeah, but then if they come and they say, "Hey, we'll give you more speed for $40 off that bill," I'm pretty sure one or two things going to happen.
Are you
Verizon's
switching if Google Fiber comes?
I was looking at their plans, and when I saw 1,000 by 1,000 for $100, I realized I'll be saving about $700 a month.
Oh my God.
A month?
Oh my, bro.
Yeah, he has to pay a pretty penny for
okay,
it.
hold on. Wait,
Before we
wait.
do anything else.
Let me. I'm gonna stop it right there.
Yes, I will be switching.
No. I'll stop it right there.
I will switch.
Now, do you
I
have
will switch.
Verizon FiOS for business?
No. Yeah, I have for business. So.
Okay. So let's go on business plans. Business plans are completely different.
Okay.
Because usually with business plans, a couple things happen. They usually guarantee your speeds.
Okay.
And QoS.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Which is quality of service.
Okay.
So.
they're basically, and usually when they'll say 50 meg, it's actually burstable higher than that.
Yeah.
So, but Google Fiber for Business is actually around $800.
Okay.
Why? Because that means it could plug into something like a call center, and you're gonna have the crazy amount of let's say it's a
data
voice
going back and
over
forth. It's
voice over IP.
Voice over
They're
IP.
gonna use a hell of a lot more than someone else should. So that's what would be your price. Now, if you get into a price where though, and it's the same price but Verizon has less, Verizon's going to do one or two things. They're either going to bump up their speed, or they're going to give you a discount. So either way, competition is welcomed in your area or wherever you're at, even if you already have something good.
Yeah.
All right. Damn, I'm still in shock that the man pays $800 a month on.
I mean, that's normal in a
That's
business
actually
world,
normal.
though.
That's actually normal.
That's wild.
You know what's not normal? Paying $800 for 1 meg up, 1 meg down. So that I've seen people pay that, and that's just ridiculous.
That office that I know in Canada pays a exorbitant price
from like a CenturyLink or something like that.
No, it's like a Bell or something.
Like they have some.
It's DSL.
Yeah, it's DSL.
Local,
It's garbage. It's something that you.
Local.
Bro, DSL was garbage back then when it first came out.
Yeah.
It was trash.
Well, if we're coming from dial-up though, DSL was a godsend. Like I did, I had dial-up. You know,
but at that time cable was in its
sitting.
infancy.
I had to when I was torrenting, I was illegally downloading my South Park episodes from season 2. It'd take like 6 days, and then I'd freaking finish downloading it because it was 24 megs, and then it was garbage and it didn't work, and I'd just sit there and cry because I don't know what else to do.
Now that Isaac mentioned it, shout out to the illegal pirates, the illegal downloaders that say I cut the cord and I can watch any show I want because I can get it off of popcorn time. Shout out to you, bro.
Well,
shout out to you for making paying citizens like me not.
So we're
yes.
When we're at lunch,
before I go on a rant.
When we're at lunch, we actually overheard someone saying, "Oh, I was watching something off popcorn time, and it's so great." Oh, and I also got a letter from my ISP saying, "Hey, you're illegally downloading something."
Yeah.
Oh, what should I do? The guy goes, "Oh, well, popcorn time has a VPN feature that we know doesn't work."
Yeah.
But, she was kind of, dumbfounded by what VPN was in the first place. And we talked a little bit about VPN and what it does.
Yeah.
But now
we dabbled in doing that in a.
But I've noticed when I've asked people, it seems like some majestic term. Yeah. Like it's something they can never figure out.
Like a myth or something.
Yeah, it's something they can never figure out.
Is it hard?
If it's super hard to implement it and they don't know where to get it or who does it or anything like that. So one thing we wanted to go over today on this topic was have you explain kind of how someone not to illegally download. We don't want
to support illegal downloading because citizens like me pay $20 a month for HBO Go and want that to be exclusive. God damn it! All right.
So
now let's talk about safe browsing using VPN.
So not only is it good for illegally downloading stuff, which we don't condone, obviously. We've talked a lot about privacy and the uses of privacy and why everyone should probably be on a VPN. Would be the best practice,
especially if you do a lot of online shopping.
Just privacy in general. You have people getting on these networks, snooping. You have hackers doing all this crazy stuff. You don't know it, but your IP might be shown to the world, and you might not know, and people could try to get at you. So, is a VPN a majestic unicorn that people can never understand if they're not computer savvy?
Not the way that a lot of these companies that sell a VPN service sell their product. Not anymore.
Okay.
Back in the day, I would say it's probably something that was a little bit more mythical and something that you couldn't understand if you were not in the IT world.
Don't try this at home moment.
Yeah, basically what a VPN does is and I explained this in another podcast, but it stands for Virtual Private Network. Virtual Private Network, what that basically means is that it replicates, hence the name virtual, because it's not a real network. That it's not a physical network you have in your house, but it replicates a secured network that has encryption on it.
Okay.
So that way, all of your data that is being sent from whatever device you have that VPN software installed on is encrypted and harder to hack into and DDoS and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Explain DDoS for me.
It means distributed denial of service. What that means is basically if I'm a hacker and I try to DDoS, let's say you as a Twitch streamer, what I do is I find out through
whatever means
hackish means. I don't really know exactly what they do, but if they get a hold of what your VPN is or any identifying data that can pinpoint where you are in the world, usually an IP address or something like that. They can send a series of packets or data packets to you till they shut your network down because your either modem or something's crashed because of the overload of data that's been received.
So to put it in layman's term, that's a traffic. They're causing a traffic jam.
Correct.
Which means
you have
there's
a
no
one-way
flow.
up, one-way down, and they're sending 500 cars at the same time to a it's usually websites.
Yeah.
So they'll say that they hacked a website.
Yeah.
Really, what they did was they have a program sent like 1 million packets to the website, and the website couldn't,
Handle the load and crashes.
Overload and crash. So you're saying
Happens to Xbox Live, happens to PlayStation Network. If you get mad, that's what they're doing.
So
Now,
you're saying it could do a prevention of that.
Well, if it's targeted to you, it wouldn't help you if like PlayStation Network goes down because you're not hosting PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
PlayStation or Sony is.
But this is a preventative measure for an individual, the user.
Yeah. So if you do any sort of streaming in any way, shape, or form, that helps. But also it helps you with if someone wasn't trying to DDoS you, but let's say trying to hack into your computer or because it's connected to the internet or on your network to try to get any of the data off of the devices that are connected to the network, that can help you too because you can make yourself look like you're from Miami or from New York or from Germany or from the Netherlands or any of those places.
Antarctica.
Yeah, and the thing is the reason why it's a lot easier now, even for a consumer that doesn't really know anything about VPN, is because a lot of these companies make a really simple software. If you know how to install any sort of program on a Windows machine, you pretty much can access the VPN because they have their own little standalone programs that they build that you install. You just plug in your user data, and then you select the server you want to connect to and hit connect. And then everything on your computer is encrypted. That goes out to the internet and comes back.
So you're telling me I don't have to buy a $400 piece of equipment to connect to my router that's going to...
No. I mean, you can if that is an option. That is
I'm talking
more
the simple
advanced.
the simple home user.
Yeah.
So you're just telling me I could download it like I download a Google update or Chrome or...
Essentially, okay. So right now, if you paid, and this is one of the best VPN services you can purchase, it's called Private Internet Access. You purchase their subscription. I think it's like for a year, it's like $40, and then 2 years, like 60 or something like that. You can download the executable file, install it on your computer, use your sign-in data like you would like Facebook or something, and then select the server, hit connect, and then anything that leaves that computer and goes out to the internet is encrypted. But only that computer. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and encrypt everything that's connected either through Wi-Fi or through cable throughout your house, that is a way more advanced level where it involves either setting it up on a router or setting it up on a machine that's installed as a router using a specific operating system that replicates a router.
Which unless you're really, I would say, paranoid at that point, or you're really against big government or whatever else, a simple download should be good for, I would say, 99.9% of people?
Yeah, and that the only problem with the VPN now is that if you're a big Netflix, Hulu streamer, now they have actually go ahead and block those VPNs, including Netflix. We talked about that in a prior podcast, that Netflix was going to go ahead and do that. And then the next day, I go to watch Netflix, Dexter, and it's like, you're using a proxy. And then I got pissed, so, because I wanted to finish watching my show, so I had to go ahead and, I took my VPN off just for a little while to finish watching the show, but I was determined on figuring out how to get around that, by certain means, so that Netflix doesn't see that I'm on a VPN.
Okay. So it's a safety thing, and a privacy thing. Would be my two things. Now, as bad as it sounds, the government pretty much could find out anything, know anything. We know this by NSA programs. I'm not going to get too deep in it. Yeah. Basically, illegal surveillance programs that, unfortunately, our own government has. It's facts. I'm not trying to get political here. It's facts.
They have since stopped.
They have since. Well, they say they stopped.
There's no one to prove whether or not they have or not.
There's still other means by which they could collect data and all that. A lot of people feel a lot of people won't use credit cards because they feel like they're being tracked, or I think that's for someone who feels like privacy is an American right. I feel like VPN might be something for them also.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I have a friend that he he believes in a VPN for the sole fact that he doesn't believe that what the NSA did was right. So he believes or he knows that it's his American right to go ahead and not be subject to surveillance. So that's why he has a VPN. He's actually the one that told me about the service that I use. Now, me, I don't really care as much because I don't have anything that I want to hide.
And a lot of people will probably say you're putting your tinfoil hat on. Stop. Yeah.
But the biggest reason why I did it is because I was doing a lot of Twitch streaming at that point, and people can SWAT you, which is where they find out where you live, either by your internet provider or find your phone on the internet or something like that, and they call up your local police department, say that I'm holding someone up in my house, and then while you're streaming, you get tackled to the ground with guys that have like M4A1s and pointed at your face.
If someone has their volume up, the police is putting their ear to the door and they're hearing shots and stuff like that. Yeah. And, it could become a dangerous situation, I would think. Yeah. Anytime that you have people running in your house with guns, no matter who they are, unfortunately, if you do something out of fear or anything else, it could end up bad. Mm-hmm. So I think with the whole VPN thing, I think it's cool. In regards to the privacy standpoint, I personally am not a
VPN user.
No, not that, but I'm not like the whole government is trying to like.
Yeah. Okay, you don't have a tinfoil on.
Yeah, I mean some people might say for whatever reasons, but yeah, I'm not to that extreme. I really don't care. I don't care, but at the same time, I kind of do. Another thing that a lot of people don't notice is when you're browsing the web, you have a whole bunch of companies trying to see what you're doing.
Yep. For ad purposes.
And target you for ads.
Based on location and everything like that, yeah.
I'm assuming the consumer goes on Amazon, Walmart, something like that. Then they go on Facebook, and lo and behold, the advertisement for whatever they're just looking at
related
is
to what
somehow now on the page, and people don't know. So you're tracked everywhere.
I mean, but also
Google does that too.
Google does it.
That's Google's main business.
Google. Everything is free. Nothing's free.
Yeah.
Google's free. Their products are free. No. Google is letting you use their products in exchange for getting whatever personal information they could get, selling it to whoever wants to buy it to sell you ads to specific things. Yeah. Well, you got anything on that?
Yeah, you activated my tablet by saying Google.
His OK Google went off. But I mean, the one last thing before we wrap this up is the VPN does help with those providers that monitor your traffic too. So if you believe that your internet provider is one of the ones that are watching your every piece of data that leaves your modem,
which if you've gotten a letter saying, hey guys, you're conducting illegal activity by watching Popcorn Time, they're watching everything you do.
Yeah, so that will help with that.
I've also seen, not to jump off that, but with VPNs, another use I've seen that certain websites will purposely slow down traffic from certain ISPs. So I've seen where they'll go to a website and it's slow, they have fast internet. They'll use a VPN to go to that same website, and all of a sudden it's like blistering fast.
Yeah.
So I've seen, that's also a use.
Well, that was a deal with Netflix and like an ISP that was throttling Netflix.
Exactly.
It was Comcast. It was Comcast.
I mean,
for their Xfinity service.
But now that's a problem because Netflix blocks VPNs, so there's not really anything to do about it.
That's another, I think, cool use that people could.
That's a net neutrality issue.
Yeah, it's not only privacy, it's not only security, but at times it's very convenient and advantageous to maybe have another way to get to a site in case one way is slower than the other.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Because to put it quickly, you have a backbone. Your internet's a big backbone of highways. Yeah. One highway might be clogged for whatever reason. If you have a VPN, you could go over here and then use the same.
Yeah, take a different exit
to make it extremely simple.
We've spoken about the pros of using a VPN. We haven't spoken about the one thing that's on everybody's mind. How much does this thing freaking cost?
Well, it depends on who you're going through. But the privateinternetaccess.com company that I go through is I believe $40 or $50. It's really cheap. it comes out only to a few bucks a month if you were to break it down.
So
break it down.
you pay on a yearly basis.
I do. I think they have a monthly option, which is more money, but you save money if you go with the yearly option.
Okay, so you can pay $50 a year, let's say, to have basically, or not basically, but probably the safest internet browsing experience you could have on any one computer.
And they don't log what goes through their servers either. So if they're sanctioned by a government to go ahead and collect that data, they don't have the data to give them. So,
and just to let everyone know, we're not paid by anybody by any means.
Yeah.
So this is purely by him having a great experience with a product. In case anyone's like, "Oh, you're just saying that for whatever."
Oh yeah, no.
We're very far from that.
Yeah.
Very far, guys. So we're still unbiased and neutral when it comes to products.
We will continue to be unbiased and neutral, not just still.
Yeah.
We're not for sale yet.
I mean,
I'm totally playing around.
They do. There is other companies that do not log data too.
So
it's just I don't know the names of them off the top of my
there's
head.
other good VPNs. I think start where he said.
Yeah.
Do your research. If it's something that you want to get, now we all know that it's a simple download.
Yeah, it's definitely a simple download. Actually, I think we should probably write up an article on it, just kind of give people the ideas and the options that they have for further information. I think right now we have cut it close to wrap-up time. So I think we'll cut it here. We've had a great conversation. I'm pretty sure everyone that listens, their head is probably full of crazy information in terms of how their ISP works, what upload download is, how to safely browse the internet,
How they're getting ripped off.
how much I hate people who pirate because I'm a paying customer, things like that. So let's just cut it. Let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. Anybody want to plug anything? Any articles we want to have? Please. Give us a follow, like our videos, tell other people to like our videos. We have purchased a dope camera that you will see 4K content on very, very, very soon. Thanks to the man right here, Christian, who not one time gave us an awkward transition today.
He's off his game, man.
He is off his game.
www.badnewstech.com, Facebook.badnewstech.com.
Instagram, Bad News Tech, Twitter, @RealBadNewsTech. Hit us up, talk to us. We want to talk to y'all.
Like, subscribe, comment, whatever y'all want to see. If you have any questions, I think we should be able to answer them from our experience of all our guys that we have here.
Lewis, you get the last word since no one has seen or heard from you for weeks. We've been worried, man.
Yeah.
He wants you to talk about the Broncos, bro.
The Broncos are going to suck next year.
Okay. Spoken like a true, bitter Vikings fan.
Peyton Manning's going to choke at his retirement.
He'll choke on his retirement speech. You know what? One last choke job. Just for you, bro. He's going to choke.
I need one more from Peyton.
He'll choke like George Bush did on those pretzels.
Or like your kicker. Oh, sorry, my fault. All right, let's end it here.
All right,
peace,
later,
guys.
y'all. Peace.
There's no news like bad news.